Welcome back. We're here to cover your content for the Divine Masculine for your twin flame path. Now, if you do want a reading, especially connected to joint energy or other, we do host readings via Yildiz Readings 5D. We also do host a Sage Inner Circle network. For those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. So we directly bring that energy into both the membership and the platform online on YouTube. And if you do want to sign up to the membership, all the links are directly below. We're going to get straight into this read because already I was really baffled just by the cards, really sitting here and looking at it and trying to gain the context of where their frequency was moving into this part of the month, especially post moon in Scorpio. And I do see it to be pretty positive. I see it to be extremely rational. And I was really predicting that there were some pivotal points that we were going to go through this month, energetically, individually, and collectively, but also within the context of the individuation as well as the joint connection within the twin flame path. Now, the reasons why I'm feeling this, A, is because I do actually look at this transits. Some people have been a bit wary about Saturn and Neptune and Aries relating to the twin flame path. I'm actually very optimistic. And the reason I say that is if you look back to part of your awakening, we do directly need that. Almost like the veil has thinned, you're seeing things very clearly. You have these revelations of authenticity, and I do believe this is what is being activated in the Divine Masculine. Now, we have had, and we still do have, the North Node in Pisces, and the purple chakra is coming up. So, sometimes we will tap into things that feel nice. Sometimes we'll tap into escapism. But what I directly do see is there is now a new relevance to what feels good and what's real. And so we're going to be asking some brutal truths. We're going to be asking, we're going to require authenticity, individually and collectively. Now, we see this individual here going into the ethers of painting, what would feel more authentic to them, what feels bliss, where maybe they've been giving their power away or accepting the status quo in life. And they're really tuning into this at this point in time. Now, this card, let's see. Yeah, this is the interconnection. The card drops down to a 8. This is the interconnection of, what we're jumping into, what value we pull from things, what our spiritual value systems are. Now, we do notice this individual within their emotion, which is the feminine archetype, lying down in bliss, in ecstasy, and there is an awakening from the slumber, okay? And we were going through that. I would say it did start kicking off late February into mid-April, and then it was like a sharp awakening, like, sharp revelations. And it intensified as we moved through that portal. Now, at the first row, what I was really seeing is that this person is so matter of fact, being scared, doing it anyway, getting to a point where they know what they're going towards, and they know that in order to get the things that they want, they're going to have to deal with the awkward. They're going to have to deal with the uncomfortable. And if anything, the crazy thing is, many times when we've moved through this, the pure bliss state, the escapism, the acceptance, etc., where your psyche is showing you intuitively and really learning to trust your intuition. There is a difference between your intuition and fear-based frequency. Yes, it can be logic-based, but it's also a hunch, okay? So even hunches do count. So this person has moved to the most recent past, and there would have been a lack of confidence in things. There would have been some insecurities and maybe wavering their ethics and morals to do with subject matters, looking at it like maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I'm looking at this incorrectly. Maybe I made my bed, I should lie in it. And I see this to be, it's almost super, super serious. We have the playful card in the reversal position. to do with tribe, to do with family, to do with connections, and pie in the sky kind of energy. So the person came down to a very staggering realism. Now, as we move forward to the heart of it, it's like the Leo energy. It's fierce like a tiger. It's going for what it wants. It's not allowing the fear to define you. It's knowing that the deeper calling inside of you from a spiritual point of view is urging you to address the things that you're scared of, is urging you to look in between the shadows of what has chastised you, what has, and that Scorpio energy, I literally said, once we have that moon coming up, such hot taboo subjects, exposures, etc., are going to come up. And, this at a collective level is that. It's, what are we kind of, what's below the surface here? What are our foundational subjects? It's tax, debt, legacies, inheritances. It's what we've inherited, down the pipeline. It's also, where codependency is, where the tax system is. It's intimacy, bonds, control, all those things. And we get this in that Mars energy coming through in the heart of it. What I'm seeing psychically is this person is like, you know what, Dana, I'm not scared. I am, but not from a point of view of allowing a control. And I talked to a spiritual friend who is actually a twin flame, and we were going down the rabbit hole relating to that. And this person is an Aries. And we were bouncing off each other to do with the frequency. And the funny thing is, the Mars Libra energy and within the collective, it has changed. So the Mars archetype, the masculine archetype, is coming to a revelation that they can't make everyone happy, okay? And that they also have to, in the new version of themselves, be the new version of themselves. So even if it is to do with ethics and morals, if it's against the grain, and if it's just to enable another person, it's just not going to work anymore. It's just not going to fit. And we see this where the masculine is coming through and they're like, you know what, I'm here too. I have needs too. I'm going to be bold and assert myself. And where I feel people aren't respecting those factors, I'm going to have to create boundaries. Where have I not actually made these boundaries? Where do I need to draw a line in the sand here, or even potentially poker face it at a temporary nature? But regardless, still saying, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway because I can't live this way. This isn't working for me. Now, does it mean to say that they have the utmost of confidence in it? No, but they're still doing it anyway. So it is about actually challenging those fears and not quite knowing, where the next step is going to be, but just taking a step regardless. And I do see this individual doing that. It's like I have to gain confidence. And I feel there's a movement here. I feel the movement is towards how they're going to respond towards the divine feminine. Could it have felt like they had been in a slumber for a bit and maybe MIA? Yes, I do feel so. And sometimes in order for them to unpack things, they actually do internalize it. They go inside, they might exhibit frustration. And then once they've unpacked that and kind of compartmentalized it, they're then more receptive and open to going, okay, I get why I'm feeling this way now. Maybe I can express it. But when you don't have those words, I was explaining this to somebody that's doing some work on my damaged foot. And we were talking about astrology, we were talking about energy. And it's funny, when we're moving through the matrix, many of us don't understand the anatomy, right? Whereas an individual that has that experience understands the context of it. So that's similar to us in the world experiencing a vibration, yet there could be another person that understands the context of it. So sometimes it takes a bit for us to unpack it because we're in the simulation. So As an example, this person understands anatomy, muscles, etc., whereas the person who's experiencing the pain doesn't. So they'll ask questions or they'll wonder. So this is where the masculine was really at. And we see this person moving through the uncomfortableness at a foundation level. And it's like, look, I can't just sit in all my luxuries. I can't just sit in the everything's supposed to be nice and fluffy. Sometimes you have to do the hard yards to get what you want. Sometimes you're going to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? And this is where this person is at. And this is beyond illusions. This is very, very realistic. It's like their actions. They're so matter of fact determined to get themselves out of dodge, to liberate themselves, to be honest with themselves about what is correct for them. And I think this is in a myriad of places. And what do I mean by that? This is with their relationships. This is with karmic contracts. This is with careers, aspirations, and personal belief systems. This can also come down to their friendship groups. I feel they've felt very isolated. And they're like, you know what? This isn't how life is supposed to be. This is not how my life was supposed to be. Have I become bitter because of that? Have I felt like my cup has been half full? Yes, I have felt like my cup is half full. And they're really desiring to A, be mature about it, but B, also I've outgrown this. I need structure. I need something that, yeah, it's like it's void. I just feel like it's void, if that makes sense. Voided, like a voided bounced check. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. Something's stirring in them. Let's get some clarity. Because even through the outcome here, and I hope I haven't babbled too much, sometimes it takes a bit. I inherited my father's way of telling stories. Okay. We see the owl, and owls are incredibly intuitive. We see the lotus flower here. They're wanting to heal the circumstance. Yeah, this is to do with the relationship, wanting to fly towards their destiny. Really addressing their values. For some of them, if there has been any financial blockages, they're breaking through it. I don't know why. I'm almost getting, I might pull a chakra card because I'm almost getting that a particular activation that happened has given them a lightning bolt idea. And it's almost created a solution. So suddenly they're moving towards it where there was stagnancy. It feels as though they've had a revelation and now they know how to move through this awkward situation. This blockage that has occurred in it. Was it? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look. I think for some of you could have a major conversation. Yeah, this is breaking down the walls. This is a deep conversation about a circumstance. I do believe for some, something that has come up, which it was over the last few months, it could be a tribal related situation and addressing the elephant in the room. And even though it's like they're going back into their intuition, like second guessing themselves. And I would say from February to here, and now they're like, no, now the door is open where I can go back and directly address that blockage. And I do believe this was with maybe either a karmic or a person of the past that was causing a blockage, that was an entanglement. And they're taking the actions and the steps here. And although they're still potentially up in their head about it and they don't know how that's going to go, they feel it's going to create closure. It's going to be able to, these are weird messages they're giving me. Mm, unbind them from this. That's about the most polite way to say it. It's almost like I'm getting an image of like shackles on the ankle that have been dragging them back, and it's like they've been dragging along like it's just part of the, the dynamic of the situation. But they're actually like they have had a hunch deep down if they took a particular action that it would actually completely liberate them. And I'm seeing a balloon that's like they're blowing up, they're flying away, and they're taken from this circumstance. But they've had a lot of fear about addressing it. It's been niggling in the back of their mind, but by addressing it, they do firmly, firmly believe it is going to be their liberating piece. And this is where I do believe having the courage to address that is actually going to liberate them. Now, if you do want a private booking, you can go directly below to the website or to visit our landing page. We do have spots that do fill up fast, so jump on and grab your spot, especially if you do want to look at the joint connection. Now, we do have the masculine, feminine, and karmic out right now. And as to our landing page, you can directly find it via our website, which is Sage Inner Circle Network, and there is a sign up. Otherwise, I'd love to hear how this relates to you, and I'll see you for the lives and the super chats. Take care, and I'll see you soon.